I am joined by the fourth wheel of this banner.
Let's just add the
Who
president.
would be the most non-problematic person to
When I
add?
first came into contact with Leo Club, I actually had other clubs that I was part of.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I thought about being president then, like in 2019.
District president. Yeah, ambitious guy. Yeah?
I'm trying to think of something that I can say on this podcast. The dedication that Alpha Leos have, like they really take Leo seriously. Meetings are mandatory, everyone attends. People pay. I have been thinking about it, and I think I've made a decision.
Yes.
I'm becoming a Leo lion after a year.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to District 412A's The Leo Frequency Podcast, where we operate at different frequencies. This is another episode. I'm not so sure what number episode is going to be, but whenever it comes out, welcome back to the channel. This is the podcast, the only podcast in the district for the whole district. And today, as you can see, I am not alone. I am joined by the fourth wheel of this banner. I know some of you are wondering, who are these people? And of course you can notice the brains behind the project, but then there's an outcast at the end over there. We finally decided to allow him to just come and talk about why he's on the banner and share more about his story. Nah, I'm just joking. Today we are blessed to have our Leo District President, Leo Malcolm Dhlora.
This is the part where you do the...
And we have some background clapping of hands. Anyway, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Sir.
Thank you so much. Anyway, I think the first thing, hopefully this will be the first episode, the very first episode of this podcast. And secondly, so the first time I saw this banner, I immediately knew that I was just included for the sake of symmetry. There are three guys who run this podcast. And they're just like, we need two people.
What if we genuinely hold our LDP in high regard?
We need two people on each side, and they're like, you know what?
Or like, nah,
let's just add the president.
Who would be the most non-problematic person to add?
But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
And
Welcome.
Hi to every Leo Lion, and friends of the Leo program who are watching this. Who are watching this episode.
Wonderful. So, of course, today we can't have a podcast for the district and we don't give a platform to the boss of the district to tell us one or two things about his journey in the Leo program, or one or two things he's learned over the years. If you wanna fast forward to a certain segment that relates more to you, I'm gonna try to put timestamps on this video so that you can go to whichever part you're probably more interested in knowing about. I think it's only right that the first conversation we have has to do with what led to us being here today, like the beginning of this quote unquote Leo journey. So maybe you can just with a few descriptions here, they can tell us something about how your Leo journey began, and how it's been like up until, let's say, the point that before you became the district president. Just a quick rundown. Who was Malcolm before this guy? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, so Leo journey dates back to high school, St. Faith's High. So our then headmaster and his wife were lions, and so Leo was a really big thing at our school, and I wasn't really like into Leo that much. Like, it was just a club that was there. I was a member, and then I went to Goromons and continued as a Leo, and I still wasn't really like, I actually didn't know and understand any of this, that we even have a Leo district and all of that.
Up until A level.
Up until A level, I only got to understand all of that when I was now as at NAST, because I actually never attended any camp when I was in Alpha. I think the one event I still remember attending, I think I've told you before, I was in Upper 6 when we went to KC for the Winter Fest.
Yes.
That was 2016.
Yes. I was a Form 1 in
Yeah, and then after that, the journey took me to NAST. So NAST, that's when I really started to get into this whole Leo thing. Funny enough, I almost joined Rotaract when I got to NAST. I think I actually joined.
Yeah.
And then I came across Leo's this other day, and then we did a course correct. Then I came back home.
What was it in particular that made you divert from Rotaract to Leo? What was the driving factor?
Okay, so when I just got to NAST, I had friends who were in Rotaract.
Okay.
So naturally I went there. But then I guess that thing that I was just a Leo was still at the back of my
yes, because of course you had some history in the program.
So when I got the chance to interact and to meet Leos, I decided to give it a shot, and one thing led to another. Became NAST president, then Kumalo president. Yeah, those are the only club posts.
You were a president for Black Kumalo.
Charter president for Black Kumalo.
Yeah.
And then district board, zone chair, region chair, secretary. Then we got here.
We got into the.
Let's not preempt.
Let's not preempt what we want to.
I'm sure we'll get there.
Yes.
That has been the journey in summary.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was very interesting was the fact that you guys you weren't really aware that Leo is more than just a club that's at a school level.
True.
I feel like there are a lot of clubs as well that operate like that. So was it on you or was it on the club that you weren't aware that it's more than just what we're doing here at St. Faith's? Like there's actually a district president, there's a council, there's a what?
I think it was at St. Faith, people knew more about Leo than at Goromonzi at that time.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember people used to go for council meetings even back then. We used to be, when we were still District 4 and 2, people used to go to Malawi for council meetings. So even back then, people knew. And the very fact that we had a headmaster, a lion, people were more exposed and people had more information. Just that I never really took it to heart that much. At Goromonzi, it was a new club. I think it had been started the year before we came there.
Yeah.
And not many people really knew or understood. It's one of those things that you leave your school and you go to, and you're a Leo at KC, and then you get to another school and there's no Leo club, and you're just like, well, you know what? Let me start.
So you guys were pioneers of the club there, correct?
No, it had started a year before we came. So we were like the second year to have.
All right. So the people that started the club before are the ones that had probably transferred to Goromonzi and.
Yeah, that was usually the case, because from experience I've realized that there are a lot of high schools that have Leo clubs, but it's an idea. Or it's just the name that we are a Leo club, but people have absolutely no clue what being a Leo or what a Leo club is actually supposed to do.
Sometimes I wonder, what if we were actually like properly in contact with all of the schools that had Leo clubs? I feel like my job would have been so much harder.
We'll definitely have a bigger database of Leos.
Yes.
Because I remember, was it 2 months ago, I was in Mlawayo, and I met 2 schools that I actually had no idea
had
Leo clubs. but and they were saying those clubs have existed since they were like in Form 1. We're talking before COVID. Those clubs have been there, and they're clubs that we are not even aware of. Even their area leaders we're not even aware of.
Yeah, it's something that we try to, of course, to mitigate every time, but I don't think we will ever really have a grip on the entire Leo scope. But nonetheless, Shukuto Famba Shakadaro. In English we say it's progressing it's progressing like that. All right, so it's been how long so far in the program?
12 years.
12 years. Oh, that's a long time, eh?
Very long
That
time.
is a long time, because for me it's about to become 6 years. It's not even 6 years yet. It's like yeah, my ancestors. So looking back now, of course, maybe don't preempt too much, because I think I'm going to ask a similar question ahead. What do you think is what are the biggest differences with the version of you that you were when you began, when you were still a Form 1 at St. Faith's, up until the person you are at this phase of your Leo journey? Like, what do you think are the biggest differences?
Okay, so naturally I've grown like in age and
Yes,
physically and even natural. I think natural progression everyone has, but I think to dial it down specifically to the Leo program. So contrary to what most people may think, I'm actually an introvert, and it might be hard for some people to believe, probably even you.
Yeah. I think for me it's almost just like, what do you define an introvert? Do you know what I mean? Because
it's fine. Anyway, that part is not even important.
Yes.
So I'm not like someone who would say I was like quiet, but I'm not like a people person to that extent. Yeah. So I think Leo forces you to be to be constantly around people, and you get to interact with them and have conversations and all. So I think that social aspect of being able to connect and to talk to people, even just random people, and even the confidence to just be able to do that. I think that also helps. And public speaking, like speaking in front of people.
Yes.
At this stage, I actually don't have a fear of speaking in front of people. Like, even without a prepared speech, you could put me on the spot and I'd still find something to talk about. And because I was actually, even to an extent, should I say surprised? Or maybe even, I think I impressed myself. I think that's the word. When convention, when we're doing that whole question and answer. Because I was asked like more than 10 questions.
That was a long Q&A session.
At some point, I was actually tired. And when I was done, I was like, so I was actually able to answer all. Because I was expecting some of those questions, like you prep for it.
Yeah, so you kind of know, how am I gonna...
people are definitely gonna ask this. But then there are some questions that actually took me by surprise.
To be like, people are actually thinking about this.
And you really have to think on your feet, and you. Because people are expecting you to be the president, and they expect you to. So also that is something that has really helped. And the whole aspect of just being able to lead. I know leadership takes different forms. But most of the principles and the experience that I've got from applying these things in the Leo program, because I would say the Leo program is like low stakes. Like, you can make mistakes and it's still okay, and that's cool. And you can experiment with a lot of things that you can't otherwise experiment with in real life, or
in a work setting,
at your workplace or whatever, because the consequences might be higher. So you're able to experiment and to find yourself whilst doing certain stuff in the program, and without any pressure, really just working at your own pace.
I think the aspects of personal growth are actually very, very integral. I feel like it's so much so that sometimes you really have to ask yourself, Tomboti, after a year or something, how you need to do a proper assessment. Have I really gained anything, or have I become a better person in whichever aspect? Because ultimately, if growth doesn't exist within the Leo movement, then what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, that is very important. Let me go on to the next part. So of course you've been in the program for 12 years, Andrea.
Yeah.
Yeah, when got to grade 7. Yeah,
Sometimes I actually like to think of it as I've been in the program for 7 years.
oh yeah.
Like the first 5, yeah, I was a Leo, but wasn't really a Leo.
Yeah.
I think I've been an actual Leo for the last 7 years, since like 2018 around there.
Yeah, because of course maybe you weren't taking it as seriously as you were, the past 7 years.
Sure.
So I want to ask this. Of course, now you are the district president, and that's kind of how most people know you in the circles of district leadership, correct?
Yeah, true.
So, is there a particular moment or particular experience in your Leo journey that made you realize that you wanted to take on Leo leadership at this level?
Okay, so
Where was the point where you're like, you know what? I think I could be a district president.
okay, I think to answer that question, we go back to 2019.
Yeah.
So, funny enough, I'd never held a post in Leo
Yeah.
until 2019, and my very first post was being a club president.
Yeah. This guy is a daredevil. Like, definition of throwing yourself into the deep end.
So funny as it sounds, that was like my first post.
Yeah.
And I look back at it now, and I wish I knew more when I took that role. I could have been a better president than I was. But at the same time, I'm also grateful that I took that opportunity to be president, because it taught me a lot and it opened my eyes to a whole lot of things about what getting to an understanding of what the program is about and everything that it stands for.
Yeah.
So yeah, to the more interesting part.
You're very ambitious.
So that's when I actually thought about it, and in my head I was like, you know what, for this to happen, I need to. That was actually during my years as NAS president.
Yes.
And I was like, for this to happen, I need to be in the district board. And at that time, not many people knew me like I was a newbie, and not many people really knew who I was.
Yeah, Malcolm wasn't a very common name to talk about and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know how Leo is structured, that most Leos are from Harare.
Yes.
So you might actually be a Leo, an active Leo in Blues or in Guero in another part, but people might actually not know you. It's only probably by attending camps and all of that that you begin to know people. And 2019 was also the year I attended my first camp. I was council meeting at Waisao in Marandera. So that was like an introduction to the whole district, the guys that were there and everyone. And so it was during that year that I got the, should I say, conviction to go further with this Leo thing. So in my head, I actually thought, you know what, I don't know if I'll get into the district board next year, but if I do, I want to give myself 5 years to prepare myself and to become district president.
But like, what was it exactly? Like, did you go to the camp, or maybe during your year as president, did you kind of maybe assess the program and realize, you know what, I think I could contribute to this What was it? Was it just like a thing that developed subtly over time?
Okay, so I really enjoyed what we were doing at NAST at that time.
Yeah.
Like actually doing service projects and seeing the impact of what we were doing on the people that we were helping, and also on ourselves as Leos, because I was still 21. I was still 21 then, and so I felt like I could do more, and I could also grow more by applying myself at an even bigger stage. Because if we could do that, or
At
if
a
I could
club
do that
level.
at a club level, what if I became a zone chair for a whole area? What if I became a region chair for a whole area? What if I became a district president for a whole district? And also what that would do for not only the community that we are serving, but also for myself and also for my peers, and how that will grow us and will groom us to be, model citizens.
Okay.
So I really, long story short, I fell in love with Leo during that period, and I just never looked back.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who really thinks things through. And so that was my plan, that we get in there year 5, we become president. Well, I did it in year 6. So
you're forcing me to think with like, should I have like serious year targets as well? Like, am I not maybe taking it as seriously as I should be?
I don't know. It's people probably go about it different, but it's something that you should think about. That if you want to get there, then when do you think you might be able to get there? Because for me, it was coming from a point where I need to at least, because by the time you get there, there's a lot of administrative stuff that goes on.
Yes.
And it's more of, you are now in a position that you enable other people to reach their potential and to also work, and you also nurture and also to groom other Leos that are coming through, that are younger than you. So you need that experience, at least having to walk where they've walked before. And I'm grateful that I spent 3 years as an area leader.
Yes.
And I feel like as an area leader, you really learn a lot about the program. I'm sure from your years zone chair now as region chair, there's a lot that you have learned about the Leo program. Because you're the one who really deals with the schools, you deal with the Alpha Leos, you deal with the patrons, the school administrations, and you are there for like the day-to-day of everything that's happening. And I'm also happy that it was outside the region, that's region 2, and I feel like I need to explain that.
When you say maybe you can explain.
I feel like I need to explain that.
Yes, please explain.
No, so when I was a zone chair, when I was region chair, region 3 probably wasn't as established as it is now. There's still a long way to go. Like, there's still a lot of grass that needs to be covered. But we actually didn't have like as many Leo clubs or as many schools that had active Leo clubs. So it was really hard work trying to get that area up and running, and starting clubs and all of that, doing all of those things, and running around, going to Kwekwe, Gweru, even around Mlawayo. At that time, the region also stretched to Mashingo. So you also had Mashingo in the Low Vault, you had Wange and Vic Falls. So geographically, it was a huge area. But we really didn't have a lot of clubs. So it was a huge challenge to try and get more schools involved in the club program, and it's a challenge that I enjoyed. And we would say to an extent we did manage to raise the Leo profile in that area. There's still a lot of work, and since then all the other guys that have came in, KD, Paida, have done a good job in trying to keep that momentum and trying to keep things moving.
I definitely feel that regions that have probably less clubs are usually kind of harder to manage because it's not just an aspect of managing the clubs that are there. It's also an aspect of trying to make sure that you establish newer clubs or you continue to motivate the clubs that are there to continue to represent this very large area.
Exactly.
Not to say that active areas are any easier. I just think that the problems are different.
True.
Yes, it's just a different dynamic and the challenges are different, but nonetheless, it's all quite something. All right. So let me move on to my next point of this discussion or interview or podcast. Of course, you don't just become a district president or you don't just become a first vice president, and people have to vote for you. There's a whole thing in this whole process, correct?
Sure.
Sure. So can you walk us through your campaigning journey? And maybe you can tell us what was it like behind the scenes, beyond what all of us could see. Like, what was the campaigning journey like for you, starting from first vice president up until now, up until district president?
Okay, so where do I start? First vice, that was what, 2024? That was last year.
Yeah,
that was
last year.
Yeah, that was last year.
Why does it feel like it was so long ago?
April last year.
Yes, it was last year.
So you know what? One of the beauties of our program is at every stage and every year, you always have people who are willing to take the next step in leadership. If probably no one was contesting to be president, then it would be very worrying that an organization whose first letter, the L, stands for leadership, but no one is willing to take that leadership post. So that's why I think elections are always heavily contested, and it's very difficult to split between the candidates, because usually both candidates or all candidates are equally as good, and they are capable, and you have no doubt that even if they are to be voted into office, they'll still do a good job.
Yeah.
But it's fortunate or unfortunate that we still have to
to make a decision at the end of the
democratic process of choosing our next leaders. So elections are quite hectic. But they're also fun. I feel like Leo elections, we shouldn't treat it like, I don't know, mainstream politics. Like it's just
I just think as maybe Zimbabweans or just human beings, it's hard to not take it super seriously.
Yeah, maybe I don't know if it's the Zimbabwean in us.
Yes, I was about to say maybe it's just the Zimbabwean in us. Like
we take elections.
We don't take it casually. Like this is life or death.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very stressful, and but also in a way it forces you to interact with people, like with the district, like really talk to everyone, and because Leo, we how do I put this? We have lived Leo differently, and we see Leo differently. From your own angle, from the time that you started, whichever year, you say 2016 you're in Form 1.
Yeah.
When did you join?
2020 in lower 6.
2020 in lower 6.
Yes.
And at KC, it's a totally different setup from being a Leo then in the 2010s at Fisco or at Koromonzi, and even your Leo journey taking you to UZ and Flamlili and mine to Nast. So we have lived different Leo journeys and we have different experiences.
Yeah.
So I think that period is also a period where you get to reconcile all that knowledge that you get from people.
Yeah.
Like when you have conversations with people and you understand where they're coming from and how they've lived this Leo thing and how they see the Leo Club program and what it has done to them. And I think the one common theme that you see is, for different reasons, obviously, people love the program, and people have gone to great lengths, like their time and their money and all that effort to really invest in this. And I think it's only important that people also get something out of it. Like if everyone could also get the same benefits that probably a lot of people who have gone through the program have also got, be it in personal or professionally. A lot of people have benefited from the program. And going back to Tonanda went off topic. Going back to
the campaign.
Going back to the campaign, I think above all it was fun, but it was also stressful that you have to balance everything else in your life. You already have to balance it with Leo. Now you also have to balance it with campaigning.
That's a whole unique dynamic.
And you also go around like physically or online. You do. People want to know, and people want to meet, and people want to know you. And I think for me, the biggest challenge was always people wanting to know you personally. Like people know you that this is Malcolm, and you have been this, you have been this, you have been this. They know the Leo. They know Leo Malcolm. But when you get to that stage, people actually want to know who is Malcolm, the person behind the brand. And for me, it was I would say difficult. I'm not someone who is very open like that.
Yes, to just talk about your personal life.
Exactly.
And anything.
But I guess people want to know that, be it out of personal interest or people genuinely want to know who will be leading them and all of that. And as you know, the when I ran for first VP, it was a very tight race, and it was it was very close, and I would be lying if I say I wasn't nervous. It's nerve-wracking, and but I think in all of that, it's a very humbling experience to actually see how much other people believe in you, and even at times when you might not have the same belief in yourself, but actually seeing that these people actually trust me to do A, B, C, D, and the support and the love that you get during that period, and also the wisdom to understand that you won't be everyone's cup of coffee. Not everyone will be so ready to support whatever you say. Exactly. And I also discovered then that I think we have three types of people when it comes to elections.
Yes.
Like there are people who support you no matter what. No matter, it's not even a question in their mind. They are all for Malcolm. And then there are the people who, no matter what, they won't support you. Like whatever happens, even if you are the only candidate,
they will put a no.
They would rather not have you than having you at all. Then there are people who are on the fence, like they need to. They're on they need to be convinced.
Exactly.
Like why should we be
what
voting?
Exactly are you putting to the table? You know.
So I think those are the three classifications of people that you meet when you're going through elections. And then the second one, running for president, I think it wasn't really stressful, and to be honest, people didn't care. That was the honest truth. People didn't care.
We really didn't,
People stopped caring when I just became first VP, and people were like, yeah, he's probably going to be president next year. And when no one else contested, people really didn't care. I think probably an Antongofaro drama, but anyway, people really didn't care.
I think it's just a thing that happens that when you've already spent a year as a first vice president, like in our heads, like we've already accepted the fact that you are the leader or something like that. That means
next year
you know what I mean? I feel like you have to be either you personally don't want to contest for LDP, or you were a genuinely terrible first vice president, which is very unlikely.
I don't think you can be terrible at being a first vice.
You know?
I don't think you can be terrible.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Not to say that the first VP doesn't do anything, but the way the position is kind of structured, I don't think it's designed.
It's more of a learning year, and also preparing yourself for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
And not to disclose a lot of info, but some of
Now, please disclose something. Give us a clip moment so we can clip this part of the video.
what I meant is,
Yes.
there are some things that you're already thinking in your head,
Yeah.
and sometimes even personal wise, that you're already floating ideas around in your head that but I think Takunda could be this, and I think that could be this, I think that could be this. And you're already planning your year, and who could be that, who could be that, who could be that. And even issues of even geographical areas. Because at the end of the day, you want each area covered. Like at least there are Leo leaders in that area, and you start thinking. And also, as you go throughout the year, you are observing and noticing people that but this person maybe might actually be ready for this, and
Yes.
this one might be ready for this, and all of that. So those are the things that you be thinking as you go
As
through
during our first VP
as you go
tenure.
throughout the year, and you have those things in mind.
No. That's very valid. I also want to know. Of course, when you campaign, you have a certain vision that you run with, a certain mantra that you have, a slogan or a manifesto or anything of that nature. So my question is, what was your vision or message when you ran, and how has that evolved since you took office? Are there some things that you're like, I know I think I just said these things, but because I always love holding people accountable to their basics. I'm like, hey, Mr. Guy, where's this? This was your thing when you were trying to steal us to vote. So yeah, what was the message, and has it evolved? Has it changed?
So, okay, firstly, there's nothing that I said that I was just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
I really felt like I needed to look into the camera for this. There's nothing that I said just for the sake of of saying it. So I think we sort of look at it in two time periods. Because we had a manifesto and I ran for first vice. Also had another manifesto and I ran for president. But you know that almost all those ideas are interlinked, and they sort of flow together. And I think one of the things that I spoke about, like this year when I ran for president, was to have a long-term vision for our district.
Yes.
Like, let's develop a 5-year plan.
Correct.
And I'm happy to say we managed to do that. And one of the most important things for me that was in that plan was having a special club for parents and patrons and /matrons from respective schools, because I think I've seen the impact that it has when your club patron is a lion. And also it's also beautiful when you see parents saving together with their kids as Leos and lions. And before that, I had also got a few Leos who had come to me, Alpha Leos, and said, my dad wants to be a lion, or my mom wants to be a lion. How can they go about it? So it also got me thinking that what if we design this specifically for Leo parents who might want to be lions?
Yeah.
And at least it's a comfortable space for them, because there are all people who are coming in, probably influenced by their kids, who have seen what their kids are doing, and they've enjoyed and would also want to serve. So it's still an idea that we are working on, and hopefully we'll be able to achieve that before we finish this year.
Yeah, I think also reflecting on some of the themes that you ran with at the time, I think safe to say there's nothing in particular that I can say Mr. President, because it was there was the self and the what, and I remember those.
You still remember
the
that?
self, and there was something else. What was it?
So let me actually try to remember if I remember it, because that was from last year. Because I think we had in essence the self was about how can the Leo benefit from being in the program.
Yes.
Like how can we as Leo leaders create value for our Leos, and also how can you as an individual realize that value that the program has to offer. Because it's one thing being in a space that offers value, but it also requires you as an individual to take that first step, because no one is going to come to your house and say this is what you need to apply yourself. If there are people that you need to get connected to, you need to intentionally find them and interact with them. If there are certain things that you need to develop as a person, that platform should always be there, but it takes you as a person that initiative to go and to actually go and make it happen yourself. And so that was that. And you also talked about parental involvement in our program, them having a larger say, and I think that also sort of translates into what we've just talked about
with the specialty club.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I also spoke about having a digital presence, and also how we are community of young people who use social media, but I think our social media was always built on it doesn't reflect our own individual social media footprint, or rather our digital footprint.
Correct.
It's not reflected by our collective community handles or pages. And I think to an extent we've done really well, especially on Instagram, also LinkedIn, using WhatsApp, and we can always still continue and to improve, but I think we are getting there, and we have done well.
We even have a podcast
now we have a podcast. Exactly.
Talk about progress, eh? No, so hats off, Mr. President. So I also want to ask this. You've had of course a period of time that you've been in the program, and you've had different leadership positions, both at club level and at district level, and it can't always have been a smooth sail. There has to have been a point where things didn't go as planned, or something just didn't materialize the way in which you had hoped it, or you maybe had a fault on your part. So if there is any, what's a challenge or failure that you have experienced as a leader, executing a leadership role, that has taught you something that is invaluable?
I'm actually trying to think.
Yeah, that's why I had to say because
I'm actually trying, because there are definitely a lot of things, things don't always go the way you want them to go. So I'm actually trying to pick.
Because I want a situation where people, because people are naturally imperfect people, so I don't want people to feel as if that if they've experienced something that they didn't do particularly well, that they're automatically bad leaders. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice to kind of hear you as the leader of the pack to say, "Good, you know what? There's actually a time where I didn't do this. Hopefully, that thing has no implications now." It would be nice if there was actually a specific thing, not just generally saying, "Good, I could have been a better zone chair." I don't know. Is there something like that?
I'm trying, I'm trying to think of something that I can say on this podcast. Okay, whilst I'm thinking, let me at least generalize now. That I think I spoke about how I wish I had more knowledge when I was NAS president. I wish I knew more about the program and I would be better prepared. So there are a lot of things, not necessarily things I did, but things that I didn't do because I actually didn't know better. And of course, as like an area leader, you mess up a lot of things. That's very true. You mess up a lot of things, but I think it's always important to learn from what you have done, and more importantly, never make the same mistake twice.
Yeah,
I think I told you that when you were planning the what was it, the mass orientation.
induction,
Yeah, when you're talking
yes.
about the last region conference, the one in Feb.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
I think that in itself is important to not make the same mistake twice. Because if you did something and you learned from it,
I mean, it's also very important for you to sit down and identify where really things could have gotten wrong.
Things have gone
so
wrong.
that you don't.
And equally important, it's also important to know when things have gone right, like what you have done right as an individual and also as a group. Because the moment you know what you have done right, you know that is something that you might have to use again. If something works perfectly, there's no need to change it. We can only improve on it, but there's no need. If something is working, it doesn't need fixing. Okay, something that I believe in, that if something is working, then there's no need to fix it. Let's just monitor and make sure that it continues.
Yes, and maybe it can slightly evolve in certain aspects, but
exactly. So definitely as a leader, there's many things that you get wrong, and there are so many decisions that you might get wrong. But I think what's more important is, more often than not, people are scared to make decisions because of their implications. So I think it's important to have that confidence in you as a leader, that even if you're a club president, if a decision has to be made, yes, you can consult and everything, but then at the end of the day, everyone is looking up to you to make that decision. So indecision might actually be more dangerous than making the wrong decision, because at least if you make the wrong decision, it doesn't work, we try something else, or we try to course correct and we do something else. Indecision, we end up just dragging and nothing gets done. So I think people should just be bold in their decisions. And
and I've always felt like this, especially when it comes to dealing with failures. For me personally, I've realized that it's important with the kind of mindset that you approach when you face an obstacle. Like, if you genuinely believe in yourself that you are a good leader that just had a bad day, it's easier for you to bounce back than for you to genuinely already believe that you are not good at what you're doing. So I feel like it's even a distinction that I make even in my academic life. Sometimes I'm like, Tekuna, you are intelligent. You just happen to need a longer time to understand this particular thing. And so it's such that when bad things happen, you don't necessarily crash and burn, but you're like, you know what could I have done? Because I know I could have done this well. And then you kind of bounce back better.
Yeah, because I think the other issue is also we tend to have more belief and faith in other people than we have in ourselves.
True.
That from the outside looking in, there are people who might think, this guy probably makes a good president. I'm sure he has everything under control. But if that same person, probably even more qualified or even more suited to that role than I am, everyone just has self-doubt. Like you just doubt yourself when you are the one who is in that position, and you just start thinking, but the person who came before me was Takunda. I don't think I could still be as good as he was. And normally it's not being about as good as the other person was. You are a different person, and by extension, you are a different leader to that person. How you are going to lead is totally different, and the results that you are going to achieve, like the output, is also very different. So I think it's about understanding what success, because success is personal. It's about understanding what success means to you and what is in this context, probably what a successful year would mean to you, and what are the things that you value most, and what are the things that you want to work on. Because we always suffer when you start comparing to other people, who might not necessarily have the same skill set as
who
us.
have been in the same situation as
us, exactly.
Correct.
And then we now try to be them, or to try to follow what they have done. And it's good to copy things that are good, but sometimes it's also good to also be your own person, and to also do things your way, and also to try and back yourself up that you'll be able to achieve it.
Yeah. I also don't want to drag on this particular part too long, but I thought it was good that I say sometimes you becoming the district president isn't necessarily to say that you have the best leadership traits in anybody else in the district or whatever.
That's very
true. You are
true.
just the person that was bold enough to fill in the application form. And actually, so sometimes people that get opportunities to do things are never really objectively the best people in those fields.
True.
There's probably somebody who's a way better public speaker than me, a way better one, but nobody can ever give you that opportunity because you never had that initial belief in yourself to actually put yourself out there. So,
because I'll tell you, to this day, there are people that I depend on, even Leo-wise, to consult, and to some of them even young and way younger than me.
Yes.
But their input is very valuable. Even during the time that I was campaigning, I had a team of people who used to advise and all of that. And even to this day, I have Leos I talk to, Leo Lions, or even Lions that I consult. That it's also important to know your own limitations, and to also to know when you need help. I think it's a very important thing to know as a leader,
to really be self-aware
when you need help, and also to know who to get help from. Because in any subject or at any time, there's always someone who's more qualified, or is more knowledgeable, or in a better position to understand and to execute something. So it's very important to always know when to ask for help.
Yeah, I also want to talk about something else. It's been something that I have been thinking about this past week, just reflecting on, because of course we've been attempting to organize I don't know when this will be released. Maybe it'll be after that or before that. We've been trying to organize a mass induction dinner for Omegas in the district. Very recently, we had.
Wasn't that announced already?
It was, but I don't know. Would have the event been done yet?
Oh, okay. By the time
because maybe I might be predicting that's gonna not go. You know what I mean?
Okay, I get your point.
But generally, and also, I've been experiencing whatever I've been experiencing in my club right now, which is Mount Pleasant and Flame Lily, but mostly Mount Pleasant. It's okay, guys. I know the Flame Lilies hate when I say that. And also, we recently had the Omega retreat this past week, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I don't know. Before I say how I am thinking about this whole thing, what do we generally feel about the progress of the Omega Leo movement in our district? Like where we are now, are things going up or are things going down? And disclaimer: Omega Leos are Leos from ages of 18 to 30. That are no longer in high school. These are your university students, your young professionals, etc., etc.
Okay, so I think just to give context to those, people might get lost in timelines. We are recording on the 18th of October.
18th of October 2025. So it's from this point we are creating these opinions.
Your question is quite broad and vague, so I'm actually not sure where to start, because probably in certain things we are progressing, and probably in certain things
let's say membership.
Membership,
like numbers, like let's talk about that number of people who are Omegas.
You know what? Have you ever gone on the Lion portal and checked those membership metrics and oh? I realized that we are a weird district in the sense that we have way more Alpha Leos than we have Omega Leos.
True.
And it's not like that for most districts.
It's quite unique to
most districts have way more Omega Leos than we have Alpha Leos.
Yeah.
In our district we have a lot of Alpha Leos.
Yes.
Like if probably every Alpha Leo club every active Alpha Leo club with a charter would probably have 10 times more Alpha Leos like officially on the
paper.
portal.
Yes.
As opposed to Omega Leos. And I think it's something that has been talked about for years. Like that Alpha to Omega transition. And I guess to this day we haven't really found an answer, should I say, to all of that. So I think, I don't know, probably there are a lot of factors. I've discovered that most Alpha Leos who were that active in high school don't become active Omegas.
And I've also, not to interject, but speaking about the Alpha to Omega transition, I don't know, but I somehow feel as if it's becoming less and less. The turnover is reducing. I don't know. Because I'm looking at the kind of Omegas that are here, and maybe I'm looking at back in my time when I transitioned. I feel like there were more people. Something is amiss somewhere. I don't know what it is, but I'll let you continue.
Because the thing is, I could sit here and pretend to have all of the answers, but I feel like it's a combination of a lot of
factors
of why we are not having people transitioning to becoming Omegas, and that in itself also not having Omegas transitioning to being Lions, because it's also another big issue that we don't have Omegas who are transitioning to being
or
exactly. So that in itself, I do not know. Like,
do you know what? I feel that we are experiencing a deficit of passionate Omega Leos in the program, because ultimately the program doesn't require for everybody to be 100% engaged. You know what I mean? In a club, you probably need like 5 super serious people that kind of create the momentum for everybody else, that everybody kind of follows suit. And then the image is that the club is doing well, but really like there are people that are dragging people and pulling the weight. And with time, and especially, and I'm noticing it now because I'm in these different committees, I'm in these different clubs, and I'm just like, we're now at a place where we're just recycling people and moving around, quote unquote, passionate people go in that club and just and you know what the result becomes is, if you have less people that are passionate about the program, less passionate people are able to inspire people to become like them. I don't know if I make sense. Like, when you transition, there's a requirement of a lot of guidance from somebody that is taking on the mantle. We have very passionate people that joined Omega clubs from Alpha Leo clubs. I was super passionate in high school, but they get into clubs that are not as present, or whatever the case may be, and naturally, slowly, you begin to adopt those traits, and the next 6 months.
Yeah, plus I think it's also something that I've noticed that if you we're now getting into that period where high school leavers get recruited to Omega clubs. If someone was in Upper Six, right, joins an Omega club, let's say in January.
Yes.
If that club is not active, probably that Leo's journey is going to suffer.
It's going to suffer. Truly.
It has also contributed to how a lot of people have also had their Leo kind of just take a dive, like even the passion. And because if you get to an environment where people are really into it and people are really pushing, more like how Flame Lily, I don't know, should I say was or is, like almost everyone who was finishing high school around like the 22, 3, 4
Yeah.
era wanted to join Flame Lily because they could see that these guys are moving and these guys are serious.
Yes.
So if you also get to a place and you get to a club that's not active, probably people don't even talk in the group. You spend a whole month, no meeting, no project. Because like you never see someone behind on dues. We have Omegas who could probably go a whole year without even paying dues, which are $2 a month.
True.
And someone might go a whole year without even attending a single meeting or a single project. So we get all of those things that are happening in our, and I understand that people have school, people now have work, and a lot of those things. But the thing to also consider is all of those people who are also active and are holding the Omega program together, they also have those things. Like they go to school, they also go to work.
Exactly.
But they are sacrificing their time. So I don't know if it's a matter of, are those people still finding value in the program that other people are not seeing, or what is it that's making other people leave and maybe probably not be as committed to being
The
in
program
to
as
being
much
in
as
the
these particular people. Here's my unpopular opinion.
Give us.
As we wrap up that part of the conversation is, I don't know, but I feel like we definitely need to have far less Omega clubs than we have. I sometimes wonder if we really need to have all of these clubs. we seem to be trying to spread ourselves very thin to accommodate grouping ourselves into the number of, especially Harare clubs, for instance. I don't know. Maybe it's just my opinion. I don't know what.
You know what? I actually agree with you. But anyway, story for another day.
Story for another. Yeah, this one, of course, we can't like have any say anything about it too much. But nonetheless, let's go on to the concluding question for our guest, the Leo District President. Thank you if you have been watching up until this point. Thank you so much. The last question I have for Mr. Malcolm is, what's one thing you hope to leave behind when your term of office ends? Of course, your term of office ending kind of is going to slowly relate to your Leo journey probably also coming to an end. Yeah. What kind of legacy do you wish to leave behind, or what do you hope people remember or think about when they reflect upon your time as a Leo, as an area leader, as a secretary, as a president?
Okay, so to touch on something that you mentioned.
My comrades.
So, legacy.
Tina, we have a recruit for you over here. Yeah.
But anyway, so I've always hoped that two things actually, and those two things are sort of like the pillars of our organization: service and leadership.
Yes.
And I think throughout my time, like from those who knew me, anyone that I've crossed paths with, I would hope that, of course, I haven't impacted everyone to the same level. Okay, my hope would be I've impacted at least one person. If I've impacted anyone at all, it's obviously
you're trying to be too humble now, eh?
it's obviously to varying degrees and to varying levels,
aspects,
but I would hope that people are motivated to serve, like through probably seeing me and serving with me, that maybe someone out there is motivated to serve and motivated to do more, that at least maybe I just pack something within a person to actually go out and to do a lot. Sorry, my phone is ringing. to actually go out and do a lot. And then the second thing is that people take their opportunities when they come to lead. Like we are given opportunities to lead each and every single day, and apply yourself. Don't be that person where you never want to do anything. If probably you don't like leading, you're in the wrong place if you're in the Leo program. So my hope is actually that you take initiative, and even the smallest of things, the smallest of tasks, you're able just to apply yourself and just to say that I want to do this. And there's no one who is cut out for certain things. I know we always think of maybe you're a Leo and just saying, I don't think probably I can be a president. This is he can be president or she can be president. But sometimes you never know. Maybe you actually can. Someone is seeing you and actually saying they can be president. So I think I hope I motivate people to want to lead and to want to take up the leadership space in different areas of their life. And I also hope that people also realize that leadership and serving, and in this context we use it together, that we lead through serving. It's not something that you should wait to do when you come for Leo. It should be something that you do on a daily basis, even when there are no Leos around, even when there's no one around. Those values that you learn through the Leo program, they're not to be applied in the Leo program, but the whole reason of being taught all of that is for you to use those skills outside the Leo program to help your community, to help people you interact with on a daily basis. I'm sure when we do that Leo pledge, we say for the betterment of my community and my country and all of that. So let's use all of that knowledge, all of those skills, all of those ideas that we have got from the program. When we say I pledge of my hands, I pledge of my heart, let's actually mean it and let's go and execute.
No, that's some powerful words here. There you have it, folks. I'm sure that also played into your closing message as well, correct?
Yeah, true. I think we can just use that as a closing message.
Yes. I think he left everything said. Well, not everything, but most things that we needed to hear at this particular time. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. This is the Leo Frequency Podcast. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And
soon we want to add that buy me a coffee.
Exactly.
Want to add that buy me a coffee.
There's nothing,
exactly. So
where you see a need,
we need to add that segment.
Yeah, man. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it was a bit of a long one, but please tune in for the next episode. It was amazing to have you guys watching. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, the phones are now calling and everything is happening. Nonetheless, thank you so much, guys. This is the Leo Frequency Podcast. Catch you on the next one. Bye.